as the people who never go see ballet shit on Timothée Chalamet, we also have a trailer for Dune Part 3, which will hopefully get Timothée Chalamet out of his rut that doesn't actually exist. So here we go. There's a lot riding on this Dune trailer, I think, because one small change that we are making is we have a different DP this time. It's a different visual aesthetic from Dune 1 and 2. Admittedly, at points, though, in this trailer, it does feel like imitation of Roger Deakins, but it doesn't feel like it's exactly hitting that, which I feel like, though, that's kind of intentional, and I like that. I feel like Dune Messiah is supposed to bring in a different vibe and feel than both Dune Parts 1 and 2, because in the novel, in the book, it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be this war epic. Dune Messiah feels more methodical, more like discussion-based, more political scheming, more behind-the-scenes tension going on. And I would want that to be translated well in the movie, because I think we're going to be a lot more character-driven. Not that the first two movies weren't, but I feel like Dune Part 2 was a little more bigger and epic in scale. It felt more war-like. Now that we're in the holy war, though, of this space opera, it feels like we're going to go a little more personal with it. The story's going to get a little more meaty, because we have tensions rising, you know? In the last movie, and spoilers for the book and the movie, we see Paul Atreides take the villain role. He takes the starter of the war seriously. He becomes the spearhead of it out of the sake of revenge. But we see how now people martyrize him and follow him blindly. So it's like this tragic tale you're watching. It's like a slow car crash waiting to happen, and you just got to see it. Now with Messiah, I think it's interesting because it seems like they're doing a bit of a change from the book. At the end of the first book, spoilers for the book itself, the first Dune book, when it ends, Shani and Paul Atreides are still together. Like, they haven't separated. They didn't go their separate ways. In the movie, they change the ending of the details. We have Shani leave, essentially, so they're separated. However, it looks like she's still carrying the twins, possibly. So it looks like she's still pregnant with the babies that are in Dune Messiah. So I'm curious to see what details we're going to see kind of changed to fit that narrative, to make that story hit as much as it does in the book, because it's a very emotional tale in the novel. Admittedly, sometimes presented a little more statistically and informationally. I'm excited to see a movie bring that emotional heft that I feel sometimes the Dune books themselves can lack. One big concern I do have, and I don't think the movie's going to do this, I don't want them to pussyfoot around the fact that Paul Atreides did a bad thing in the last movie. Like, he is the spearhead of this war. He's not supposed to be a character we root for, but we understand, right? Like, he's a complicated character, a complicated POV to follow, because he's not the hero of the story necessarily, but we're watching him develop into almost the villain, the very thing he hates. And I want them to keep that level of tragedy here. I think Timothée Chalamet has the chance to really present a Paul Atreides who's conflicted, someone we understand, but also at the end of the day we want to kind of condemn, because it's like, dude, you're taking it way too far. Anakin Skywalker without any of the hope. It's kind of the best way I can describe Paul Atreides. Luke Skywalker being like, hey, dude, you're fucking up. Stop it. So it's just, we're the audience. We're the Luke Skywalkers, but we can't change his mind, and that's what makes it kind of tragic. Really hyped from Robert Pattinson's role. His character in the book is really fascinating. I won't spoil how he plays a role in the story. I think just seeing how that unfolds is going to be really fun for audiences who don't know. And for those who have read the book, I'm excited to see it adapted. I feel like I need to reread Messiah, because, like, there's a lot of details that I'm kind of finicky on still to this day that I've read it once. I need to go back. I'm relieved that this trailer seems to be really conveying the tone that that book presents, though. It feels a little different from Dune's Part 1 and 2, but still concisely fits right in. The visual aesthetic looks consistent as hell. With the small changes from the book that they've made so far, plus Duncan Idaho coming back, I'm curious to see how much they fit into a runtime of this movie and how long the movie will be to fit all of that in. And will it cohesively work, you know? Because I don't think they're planning to do more Dune after this. And I kind of don't mind it just being a trilogy. The Paul Atreides story is enough, and it hits. It would be so funny if we find out that Denis Villeneuve came back just like Frank Herbert had to write Dune Messiah to illustrate what kind of a person Paul Atreides is, because people still tried to idealize Paul Atreides when he shouldn't have been. If that's the reason Denis Villeneuve came back to make this third movie, to give it a concluding chapter of a trilogy, it's kind of poetic, actually. Nothing speaks villain more than shaving that pretty boy hair away, and that's what we're seeing with this guy, Paul Atreides, so here's to hoping that things work out. They won't. Shani was such a presence in the Messiah book. I hope they really give her the screen time that she deserves for this movie, for this story, because a lot hinges on, I think, her emotional reaction to everything going on. So I want to see that. With that being said, guys, what do you think of the Dune Messiah trailer, the trailer for Dune Part 3? Are you excited? As a fan of the book, are you excited? If you have not read the book, are you excited to see how they bring this all around? What did you think of the trailer? Thank you so much for watching Skyderbrand Reviews. I will see you next time.